All right, greetings Cyclone hockey fans, and welcome to the second edition of the Murdoch Show for the 2011-12 season. I'm your host, Kevin Wey, and I'm joined with the namesake of the show, head coach and general manager of Cyclone hockey, Dr. Al Murdoch. Coach, any comments before we get the show rolling tonight?
Oh, man, live. It's great to be here. We got a couple of new people, a couple of newbies on the screen. Kyle McDonald, our brand new associate coach on board, and Jon Feavel, or whatever the heck it is. I think by the time he's a senior, he will have changed his name, whatever I pronounce it. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be unbelievable.
Indeed. As Coach mentioned, we have a great show tonight. We'll be discussing the upcoming Hall of Fame Alumni Weekend. We'll be joined later by, as Coach mentioned, Cyclone Hockey Player of the Week, Jon Feavel. And we'll also be talking about this weekend's games against the Oklahoma Sooners. But first, we'll be talking about the great weekend Cyclone Hockey had against St. Cloud State University. So, I guess what they coached, the team split two-game series last season. Won last year's Friday 7-1, then lost the next night 4-2 if memory serves. But this year, sweep, 5-1 first night, 9-1 the second night. So what would you say was what were the keys to the change in results for this year?
I think the chemistry is just different. This year's team wants to go out and play and wants to go out and just get after it right away and not take anything for granted. They played 6 real good solid periods. They went out, took it to the opponent early, and I thought played really well. So, we've got a new feel on the team this year so far, and we hope to keep it going.
Certainly, I guess. For Coach McDonald, we headed into last weekend's games. What were some of the things that you and Coach Murdoch were keying on with the players to help ensure success this weekend?
Well, I think especially because we're in September right now, I think the most important thing is to keep moving forward and improving on all those intangible things Coach Murdoch and I have been calling the face-off possession, blocking shots, those little things that not a lot of people pay a lot of attention to, but at the end of the day, when they start adding up, that's how you win hockey games.
Yeah, unfortunately, we won't have any shot block highlights, I suspect. Maybe we'll have to work them in every now and again just to give the subtleties of the game the attention they deserve. But I guess Coach Murdoch, what are some of the things you were looking for out of the players this past weekend overall? And then you kind of touched on this a little bit, but overall, how did you feel the team did?
I thought they played really well. I thought they really got their feet moving when we had possession of the puck and showed pretty good speed. I think we've got another gear there yet that we haven't hit yet. And, once again, just like playing Huntsville Havoc the weekend before against St. Cloud, whenever they had the puck, we were playing the body. We were very physical, and we knocked them off. I think on Saturday night, the first 2 periods, there was 20 hits in each period, and I think we got possession of the puck about 18 times each out of 20, and that's excellent. If we can keep playing physical and keep our feet moving, we're going to win a lot of games this season.
Definitely. That's success this past weekend. We'll go through some of the clips of the highlights of this weekend right now and see. Coach mentioned we have another gear left, but last week's gear was pretty good, so we'll roll some of the highlights from this weekend's games. So we go to Jon Feavel, he's our Player of the Week. Great hustle.
Yeah,
makes starting pass out front
real well. He had that high gear there in operation. Looked good both nights, and guys were getting off the shots real quick. Making those extra effort, kind of leaning forward, keeping that acceleration. We're going to need that over the next few weeks. I can tell you that right now.
Another good hustle, creating a starting pass up front. So many of our goals, it seems, this weekend, and even against Huntsville, have come right from the top of the crease. But not that one. That was Dominic Fuego's point shot. He has 2 goals like that this season.
You bet. We were kind of high and dry against Huntsville on the power play and penalty killing as far as getting any points, but we got on the scoreboard. I think we got 3 or 4 power play goals this weekend. That's what we like to see.
3 for 9.
Yeah. If you weren't at the game, that's Sean Crawford's blast that fades out of this time-space continuum and then reappeared at the back of the net. That was one of the highlights of the weekend for sure.
A couple of great moves there. Here's a guy with good fast feet and good snapshot. He's a guy, Kazak, that puck has eyes when he shoots. The puck just knows where to go. That's a hard one to teach.
There's Derek Collis' goal to stand. Finally, Derek's been playing pretty well, but he had Carmen inside finally. There's Jon Feavel again scoring. He had 5 points this weekend. Not bad. All right, Coach. Well, maybe I saw some of the some of the highlights, and Jon Feavel's name came up quite a bit. So what was it about Jon's play that earned him the honor of Player of the Week?
Oh, I think it was a combination of things. Obviously, on offense, he was getting points, goals, and assists, and we like to see that out of a veteran forward unit. It's the only unit that we have where there's 3 veterans there: Kukulia, Kurbatsky, and Feavel, and they played really well, and he showed great leadership and good enthusiasm. They came back to the bench each time and got a good rest in, so they're ready to go to the next shift. So. They're playing the way we want to see them play this early in the season.
Certainly. I guess for you, Coach McDonald, who are some of the other players, aside from Feavel and maybe Kukulia and Kurbatsky, who impressed you the most this past weekend?
I mean, both our goalies did. We started Karras on a Friday night and then followed up by Alexander. I thought both of them made the saves they needed to make. You know what? They really can't single a whole lot of guys out. I think as a collective unit, we're doing a really good job right now, and guys we always have those times of adversity where we have a bad shift here or there, but then other guys are picking up. You know what? Right now it's a team effort. I can't really single anyone out, but you always have to a little bit with the goalies. So I thought both those guys did a real good job this weekend.
Absolutely. Peter made 24 saves and 25 shots in his start Saturday night, and Paul, I think if I remember, it was about 29 or 25 or 26, I think. Yep. So both did a fine job in net. And I guess during this past weekend, it seemed like you guys a lot of players got a lot of chances and still in special teams. So was that a kind of on purpose? You guys still experimenting?
Yep. Or? Yeah, this early in the season, the first weekend or two, I like to give everybody the opportunity to play a little bit of power play, a little bit of penalty kill. Show us what they've got, and we got a good feel for it. So we tweaked the lineup this week a little bit, and you'll see a couple of units that might get a little bit more ice time on the power play, but everybody still needs to be ready and still needs to know the breakouts and the offensive zone setups. Same thing on penalty killing. We've got a couple of units that are real sticky on the ice. They don't let the opponents get away with too much, so they might see just a little bit more ice time on the penalty kill side. I felt that on Friday night we took a few more penalties than we needed to take. I think there was 10 penalties altogether, and then we reduced that down to 5 or 6 on Saturday night, which is much more reasonable.
Certainly. I guess with the finish out the segment, Coach McDonald, you guys ran 11 forwards and 8 defensemen the second night. Tell me about that decision. Is that something we can look for later in the season, or?
I don't think we can make any definite decisions right now on how we run the rest of the year with, but I think the most important part is that we had talked as a coaching staff to get everyone in that lineup this weekend. And as Coach said earlier, it's September. We're 2 weeks into the year, and everyone needs to know the power play. Everyone needs to know the penalty kill, and everyone needs to play it this time of year too. I mean, and the guys are making it tough decisions going down the road, but that's exactly what we want. So that was a big reason why we kind of switched up the amount of forwards and D-men.
Certainly. Definitely a nice problem to have. All right, fans, we're going to have to take a quick break. As I mentioned earlier, after the break, we're going to talk about the Hall of Fame inductees for this weekend, the Alumni Weekend, the festivities that surround that. But we'll also be joined by Jon Feavel later in the show. But we'll stay tuned, and we'll catch you on the other side of the break.
Log. Yeah. Whoa! I like the big black ones. I like the brown wiggly ones.
I like the green crunchy ones myself.
Whoa.
Get out and explore nature. There's surprises everywhere. Go to discovertheforest.org.
Anyone up for dessert?
Turning a 20-foot wall into a canvas takes vision. So will getting into college. I've got what it takes. So do you.
In Iowa, learn more at knowhowtogoiowa.org. Up, college is hard. Down, those books are heavy.
My sport is football, but my passion is education.
Right up here.
So every year, I take promising high schoolers on a college tour
Lights there, darks there.
to show them that higher education means a brighter future.
My name is Nnamdi Asamoah. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Find out how you can live united for education. Give, advocate, volunteer. Go to liveunited.org.
Do you wear this?
All right, welcome back, Cyclone hockey fans, to the Murdoch Show. I'm your host, Kevin Wey, joined with head coach Dr. Alan Murdoch and also associate coach, who's it?
Kyle McDonald, man alive.
All right, I'm sorry,
New
Kyle.
guy
I can't believe I just did that, but guess second show jitters or whatnot.
And hey, I've only been here for a month and a half, so.
Yeah, it's true, but I still feel bad. I wrote the press release, so I guess I'll owe you a Coke.
That's okay.
Anyways. All right, Coach. Well, this weekend,
Yep.
we have the Hall of Fame and Alumni Weekend. It's always kind of a big part of the year, but tell fans about the festivities and what's kind of your favorite part of the Alumni Weekend?
Oh, man, the whole weekend is my favorite. I love it when people start arriving in town. Actually, it wouldn't surprise me in the least if some of these people start arriving tomorrow and Thursday just to come into town, just to smell the arena, just to go hang around the locker room. A lot of them like to come out to practice on Thursday, and at least they'll come to the bench and they'll give a little bit of a pep talk to the team. And a lot of them come down to the locker room each night. But we've got a great program. Eric Tofty, our assistant general manager, our director of recruiting, he works his butt off all year, and this is kind of his pride and joy. And he's excited now that we got Coach McDonald on board, because Coach McDonald loves golf. And so the combination of those two guys together, I think it's going to be a great weekend. With, we're going to give some walking tours for those that would like to have it on Friday afternoon. That's going to be great. They'll get to see some of the sites. I think there's about 24 people that are coming to town. They're staying right at the Memorial Union, right on campus. They wanted to be on campus. I'm not sure why. Maybe so they didn't have to fall so far when they head home in the evenings. But that'll be good. The game Friday night will be at Legends after the game on Friday for some festivities there, and everybody's welcome to come, fans and alum alike. On Saturday, it'll start bright and early out at the University Golf Course. We're expecting a pretty good turnout for that golf tournament. Shotgun start about 10:30. They'll get out of the blocks. They'll be finished playing about 2:30, 3 o'clock, and we'll have a great big barbecue. It's going to be unbelievable. The barbecues are the best in the fall, and the alums are excited about it. Our marketing team's been working on it for months, and we'll have the barbecue, and then we'll have the formal ceremony of inducting our 5 people, and I'm excited about seeing those people too. I have that unique thing in that when I came to Iowa State in '69, I thought I'd be here 1 or 2 years to work on a master's degree and be out of here. But the place kind of grows on you. All of our kids were born here. And all these people are part of our operation, over the years. So it's fun. Kelly Brandt, 74 to 78, he was a digger. He was a hustler. He was, a captain of his team up in Albert Lea, Minnesota. It'll be great to see him back. I've seen him off and on up in Minnesota, but it'll be great to have him back on campus. Don Geiger, he's been the life and spirit of hockey in the Des Moines area for years. And he's in the builder category. And he had 2 sons that played for us, Scott and Kyle Geiger, both goaltenders. Dan Gowan, his nickname was Tree, because he was a big guy and a solid guy, and he played in that 77 through 81 era, and just a good all-around guy. Sherry Sunderman, she's breaking through that plateau where she's the first cheerleader to be inducted into our Hall of Fame, and she's a good one. She's kept in touch. She'll just show up at games when we're down in Phoenix or wherever we might be, and I know she takes a very active role in the Iowa State Foundation Board of Directors. And then the 5th one nominated and got all the votes this year to get inducted, Brian Weirson. He paid his dues, 4 years as a player for Iowa State, 2 years as an assistant coach, and then another 4 years as associate coach. So collectively 10 years. I think he'll be getting the old age pension just for hanging around Cyclone hockey. So an exciting weekend, and we expect to have souvenir programs, souvenir shirts, a little bit of everything. So get out and see these people at the hockey arena.
Definitely a big part of the history, present and even the future of Cyclone hockey still. With the Cyclone Hockey Hall of Fame, memory serves, started in 1997. Tell me about what was the impetus behind creating that?
Yeah, I think there was a number of alums that said, "Hey, we should look at doing something like that." And so a group of fellows, Al Haig was one of the original people that talked about it. Graham Doyle down in Des Moines was one of the original people, and they said, "Hey, we should put this together and start to recognize people that have had a part." So there's anywhere from 4 to 6 people per year that. Actually, the last few years, a lot more people have been nominated, and the ones that don't get enough votes then get rolled into the next year and then the next year. So each year, I would say we probably got 12 to 15 candidates, and the top 4 or 5 vote getters are the ones that are inducted.
Sure. I guess for fans who might not be aware, what's the process like for nomination and for being inducted?
Yeah, just as soon as this weekend is over, the members of the Hall of Fame, there's a letter that goes around, and I help coordinate that so that they communicate with one another. Then the nomination process starts actually this fall and early spring, towards the end of the winter. And then from that, then a form goes out just to the Hall of Fame members for their votes, and they vote for the induction of new members. We've lost a few people along the way. I hate to see that. That have died prematurely, cancer and accidents and other things. But in general, we've got a pretty good group, pretty healthy group. I know they're starting to form some goals. They'd like to have a second large trophy trophy gallery out at the ice arena where the Hall of Fame members, pictures and articles and things like that for them alone could be in that trophy case. So I think they've got some good goals, and I know probably by Sunday night, Monday, I'll be ready to take a day off and take a day of rest. So Coach McDonald will probably be in charge of practice on Monday and Tuesday, and I might just take a little time off.
Coach McDonald, obviously you're new to the program, so to speak, but what's your impressions of the Hall of Fame and I guess the history of Cyclone hockey?
Oh, I think it's great. I mean, anytime you can celebrate a history of a team and its past and looking forward towards the future, and the players get to see guys that have gone through the process as well, whether they've been successful on the ice or off the ice. It's always a good learning environment. And hey, I wouldn't kid you, there's nothing wrong with golf on Saturday either. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. So I'm excited for the weekend.
I guess with golf, as we've touched upon, Coach McDonald also has golf coaching at the collegiate level in his resume in his back pocket.
I have.
So I guess, Coach Murdoch, what do you feel is like maybe? Is there an over/under to whether Coach McDonald will win, or what are the expectations?
Oh, man, alive. It's a funny thing, about hockey players and golf. They say, oh, well, because they're hockey players, they're good golfers. But surprisingly, a lot of hockey players are good golfers. And, for me, I think it's because they tend not to be as inhibited, and they just get up and hit the ball and not worry too much about it or get nervous. But I think there's going to be some good golfers out there on the weekend. I know Noel Erickson is an exceptional golfer. After he played 4 years with us, he coached the only state championship team from Ames, Iowa, and he plays a lot of golf up in Minneapolis. And as I understand it, his son may be down as well, who's looking at a full-ride golf scholarship somewhere. So I'd love to see his son here, and maybe like one of Kyle's proteges back in British Columbia, Danny Walker, played golf and hockey for Iowa State. He was part of this same era as some of these people were from. So good combination, and I think there's going to be some pretty good golf scores out there this weekend.
Coach McDonald, any truth to that stereotype that hockey players are good golfers, and if so, why is that, in your opinion?
You know what? I think Coach Murdoch speaks. I think the big one for golfers, and it gets them out of that team environment, and we talk about team for 8 months of the year, and then all of a sudden they can go out and just rely on themselves. Whether they are successful or fail, it's up to them. And I think they enjoy that individual sport atmosphere, environment kind of thing. So
your plus minus, so to speak, certainly reflects your ability or how you played. All right, Cyclone fans, we have to take one more quick commercial or public announcement break, but on the flip side, we'll be joined by Jon Feavel, Cyclone Hockey Player of the Week. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Tickets today.
For more simple ways to fight the flu, visit www.flu.gov.
Welcome. I understand you need a little help with your mortgage. Want to avoid foreclosure. Smart move. Candy? Well, you know, you're in luck. We're experts in this sort of thing. Mortgage, rigmarole, whatnot.
Really?
Absolutely. And we guarantee results, you know, for a small fee, of course. Such are the benefits of having a professional on your side. Why don't we get a contract? Who wants a contract?
Here you go, Pete.
Thanks, Betty.
Write a toner.
Sign it. Come on, sign it. Families around the country every single day, saving homes.
We will talk it over with.
If you're facing foreclosure, make sure you're talking to the right people. Speak with HUD-approved housing counselors free of charge at 888-995-HOPE.
All right, welcome back, Cyclone fans, for our third and final segment of tonight's show with, of course, General Manager and Head Coach Al Murdoch, and no forgetting this time, Jon Feavel, Cyclone Hockey Player of the Week. See if I get to live that one down. John, you're after this weekend, you're leading the team in scoring. You have 6 goals, 2 assists in only 4 games. I guess what would you say have been the keys to your level of offensive output and success so far?
I think just trying to not think about it too much this first few games, and then just trying to get used to playing with the line mates. We've been having a good time, like out in practice and everything, just getting to know each other. So just trying to go out there and not put too much pressure on each other, and like I said, get used to each other's presence and where we're going to be at. So yeah, I mean, I think just between that, just playing with them and try not to get too ahead of ourselves.
Certainly. Now, your line mates are Chris Kukulia and Dave Kerbatsky. I guess for fans who haven't watched them play, and why haven't you seen them play yet if you haven't, what are some of the things that Chris and Dave bring to your line and to the team in general?
Chris is a little crafty player. He likes to just wiggle in and out and do some pretty amazing things with the puck. And then David he brings a little bigger presence, and the same thing though. He can make those backdoor plays, and at the same time, you know, he's got speed too. So he brings that aspect of it as well.
I guess in your mind, Coach, what would you say has helped John and Dave and Chris click so well so far?
From my perspective, these are 3 guys. They're veterans. You know, 2 of them are sophomores, 1's a junior. And they just like hockey. You can tell, you can just feel they're passionate about the game, and they want to play it the right way. They just want to play hard all the time. And so that makes it fun for the coaching staff when you've got players like that just kind of go lights out, and you know they're having fun, and come back to the bench, and they'll be quiet, and they'll rest, so they're ready to go the next shift. And, you know, they're a pleasure to coach, and you give me 20 more players just like them, and we're going to win a lot of games this season.
John, you come from North Pole, Alaska, obviously a different latitude than here in Ames, Iowa. What are the biggest differences between the 2 locations, and what do you like most about Iowa, and what do you miss most about Alaska?
I I guess the big difference would just be the sunlight time. I mean, it's nice to have a little more sun in the winter, because when I go back for Christmas, it's cold and dark. But yeah, I mean, I get it a lot, like people saying, well, you came to Iowa from Alaska, but I mean, it's a new place, and so I enjoy it. I love like the scenery, the farm country. I think it's great. But yeah, I mean, it's different from there's still winter though, but it is a little more chilly in North Pole. So
I imagine. So anytime if we're complaining on the bus, driving from wherever, you'll be able to get the rest of us in check.
Yeah.
Actually, playing for youth teams like the Arctic Lions from Fairbanks, that obviously involves a lot of travel. So tell me about how does that work? I mean.
Yeah. I'm well acquainted with being on a plane or a bus. So many tournaments throughout the years would be flying to Minnesota or California or even Canada sometimes. So I mean, that's another difference from here, is where it might not be the 6-hour plane ride with a layover that I'm used to, that I got growing up just to get to the place that we're trying to play. So it's almost kind of a blessing to you have a short bus ride as opposed to a long travel time. But
people certainly can't say that players and parents from Fairbanks, Alaska aren't dedicated. I guess the games this coming weekend are against Oklahoma. I guess from your perspective, John, what are you looking for this weekend? And I guess how jacked up are you to play against a top ACHA opponent?
I think, yeah, we're really, the boys, I think we're really excited because this will be a step up, and this will be a good real test for us. So I know, just talking with my line mates, again, we're not trying to look past it or overthink it too much, but at the same time we're kind of ready to really test ourselves and prove something out there. So
certainly. I guess, Coach, from your perspective, this Sooners team has a lot of players that have played Tier 2 Junior A and higher, just like the Cyclone. So
yes.
To what degree is this kind of a barometer, and what are your expectations for the weekend?
Yeah, they've been growing every year. There's no question about it. They're one of the new teams in the ACHA, but after 5 years of existence, they've really grown. They're ranked 8th currently, and we're ranked 12th, so it's perfect opportunity for us to move up. We need to win a couple of games against them, but most of all, we need to play well. They had our number last year. They swept us here at our place, and they beat us in a close game down at their place last year. So they had our number last year. But I think even though we're a very youthful team, I think we can take it to Oklahoma this weekend.
Sure. I guess along those lines, what sort of game can fans expect to see this weekend?
I think it's going to be a very fast game. I think there's going to be a lot of hitting. It's going to be a very physical game, end-to-end action. I think there'll be some penalties, but at the same time, the fans, I think, will appreciate that Iowa State has come a long way in just the first 2.5, 3 weeks. Our special teams were starting to click yesterday and today's practice, and we'll work hard on it the rest of the week. But we're excited about playing a top-notch, top 10 Division I ACHA team this weekend. And if I were a fan out there, I'd be getting my tickets right now. It's the best bargain in town, $7 for students, $5 for kids 12 and under, and adults just $10. Season's ticket's still a huge bargain. It's less than half price, so there's no question about it. Get out to the game early this weekend because there are going to be big crowds. We play Friday night at 7:30 and Saturday night at 7:30, so get out there early. There's going to be lots of stuff. I can't say enough about our sponsors, and Pizza Pit is one of the major sponsors. As a matter of fact, I can smell the pizza coming in the door right now. It smells so good, and we're very appreciative of their support.
Definitely one of the perks of being part of Cyclone hockey. All right, Cyclone fans, thank you for joining us for this weekend's edition of the Al Murdoch Show. We look forward to seeing you next week, same time, same channel, and look forward to seeing you at the rink.
Right on the button. Good job, Kevin.